What's up guys? In this video, how to not lose muscles when you're getting shredded, when you're doing a lot more cardio, how to prevent muscle loss. We see a lot of people, as soon as they're trying to get shredded, they lose that body fat. Well, they lose a lot of muscles with it. You don't want it to be your situation, all right? You have all that muscle, you look massive on your off season or when you're bulking, but as soon as you try to shred down, you don't feel like you're yourself. The shirts feel super big. Well, a lot of time you might be losing a lot of muscles because you're doing that shredding process and you're not doing it the right way. Basically, I'll explain to you a little bit of how you should be going about it and the mistakes that you don't want to be doing. All right, number one thing is that your focus has to always be the weights. All right, you always have to keep the focus on lifting. Whether you're bulking or you're cutting, you're trying to get shredded, you're trying to add your cardio, you never want the cardio to be the main focus, which means that your lift have to always be your priority. All right, doesn't mean that you always have to be hitting PRs. Of course, you're not going to be able to hit PRs being in a deficit, but the focus that you're putting on the weights at the gym has to always be there. All right, your workouts, you don't want to drop down your workouts. A lot of people, when they start cutting, instead of training for 60 minutes, now they're training for 40 minutes and they're doing 3 times a week instead of 5 times, and they're replacing that time with more cardio. That's not how you want to go about things. You want to keep maintaining that primarily focus on the weights and on the gym and on maintaining that muscle mass. That's what will help you not lose muscle mass. As soon as you start lifting as much, you're telling your body that I don't need that muscle anymore. All right, so what do you think is going to happen? And you're replacing that with a lot more cardio. Well, your body will get rid of that muscle because muscle is heavy, and running a lot and doing a lot of cardio, your body want to get rid of the muscle because it's not ideal for survival. It needs more oxygen, more blood flow, so your body will just slowly start breaking down that muscle. But it takes longer than people say, but you don't want to be overdoing cardio and underdoing training. So keep the focus on training. That was tip number 1. Tip number 2, keep your carbs intake moderate to high. Yes, a lot of people, as soon as they start want to cut down, they leave, they stop eating carbs altogether. They're like cutting down on carbs, and now they don't have that muscle glycogen that they once had. Their muscles are not full, and then it's just going to impact your performance at the gym. You're going to lift less and you're going to look flat. All right, so keep the carbs in there. Yes, you have to be in a deficit, but it doesn't mean that you have to cut carbs altogether. That's one of the biggest mistakes that I see people do. Keep your carbs intake there, and remember, carbs are your body's main source of energy. So if you're not eating as much carbs, you're gonna have less energy. You'll be moving less, you'll be burning less. All right, so stay active, but also keep those carbs in there pre and post workout. You want it to fuel your session. You still want to perform at the gym. You still want to go and get that workout done and give it your all. And for that, carbs are needed. Yes, needed. I know you might say, well, when I stop eating carbs, I lose weight. Well, a lot of times when you stop eating carbs and you go on that keto diet, what happens is that your body releases a lot of water too. So you lose a lot of weight on the scale, but a lot of it is water weight. All right, because every gram of carb holds to 3 grams of water. So a lot of time people go on keto, they think that they're losing a lot of fat, but it's a lot of water that they're losing. So that was step number 2, keep those carbs in there, and do not neglect the power of carbs even when you're cutting. Now I'm cutting, but I'm keeping my carbs in there and it's helping me feel full. All right. Number 3, separate your cardio from your training, and never start with cardio. All right. Let's say you have a 45-minute treadmill walk or a 45-minute Stairmaster. Imagine you do that before your leg workout, right before, without break in between. It's just going to impact your performance at the gym, your leg workout, and your ability to gain that muscle mass and maintain that muscle mass and push yourself and perform in that leg workout. Imagine after 45 minutes of Stairmaster, you'll just be fried and ready to go home. All right, so you want to separate them as much as possible. That's why a lot of people do fasted cardio. It's not because when you're doing it fasted it has crazy benefits, but it's just because they do their fasted cardio, they go back home, they eat, they rest a bit, and then they'll go do their workout. And that's the ideal. You don't want to do them right after the other. If you have to do one after the other, make sure that you start with your weights, you start with your workout, and then have a post-workout shake like a banana with a protein shake, or cream of rice with protein shake, or whatever, some carb source, protein source, and then you can do some cardio. But don't do them one after the other without any shake in between, or without anything in between. It's just too much stress on your body. It's gonna start breaking down some muscle mass, and it's gonna impact your recovery of recuperating from that workout. All right, so make sure that you're separating them. That was tip number 3. Tip number 4, keep your protein intake high. That's very important too. You need protein to keep that muscle mass. And a lot of people, when they start going on this deficit, they drop a lot of protein super fast. They're eating maybe 100 grams of chicken breast per meal. It's just not enough. If you're a 180-pound man that's trying to maintain that muscle mass, you just need a bit more. All right, so don't drop that protein intake. If anything, you can go lower a bit your carbs, lower a bit your fats, but the protein intake, keep it high. Also, protein will help satiate you, so you're full. It's very low in calories and help you maintain that muscle mass, accelerate your metabolism. You know, I eat 2 chicken breasts, I'm so full, I can't eat anymore. So use those things to your advantage. All right, so that's super important tip. Keep that protein intake high. Number 4 would be don't just do machines. A lot of people, when they want to cut down, they start really focusing a lot on machines, and they're sitting on machines all the workouts, and they avoid the compound lifts. The good thing about compound lifts is that they also work many muscles at the same time. So if you think about it, you're working more muscles, you need more force to perform the exercise, which will burn more calories. All right, so more muscles being worked, let's say when you're doing a barbell back squat as opposed to doing a leg extension. You know what I mean? So don't neglect those compound lifts, because they have great benefits even when you're cutting, even when you're trying to shred down or you're doing a lot of cardio. All right. Number 5, I would say prioritize the low intensity cardio. I'm not a big fan of high intensity cardio for people like us that have a good muscle mass on and they are fairly lean. You don't want to do a high intensity cardio. It's just not ideal. All right, low intensity cardio, like a walk. All right, go for a little incline walk or a little slow bike. What those do, first of all, it's not stressful on the body. You always want to think about something being stressful or not on the body. When something is overstressing your body, you go for a big run, 2 hours run or 1 hour run very fast. What's going to happen is that your cortisol level go up. And when your cortisol level go up, your body's in this fight or flight mode. Your body's in this fight or flight mode. It needs to generate energy because your body is stressed, so it will go break down muscle tissue. Muscle and fat tissue, but also some muscle. But if your body fat percentage is low, well, you're gonna start breaking down to those muscle tissue. So doing something like a walk, something that is not stressful, it's actually the opposite. It's gonna de-stress you. Something that is sustainable, something that's easy to do and that you can enjoy, let's say listening to a podcast or whatever. Yeah, so prioritize those little low intensity cardio. You'll have a lot better results maintaining muscle mass and losing that fat slowly but surely. And also don't go too extreme. A lot of people, they start doing too extreme, too much cardio from the get-go. You start your diet or your prep, you start want to cut down, you start with 1 hour of cardio straight from the bat. It's just too much. Your body will get used to it and you will have nowhere to go from there. You know, when I started with my coach, he gave me 30 minutes and now we're at 45 minutes a day. So it's slowly adding 5 minutes every single week. And that's how you keep giving your body small changes, but the impacts will be big. The body gets used to everything. I had a client that was eating 1 meal a day, 700 calories a day, and he was overweight. All right, just to show you how much the body gets used to everything. The metabolism adapts to everything. So make sure that you're playing with your body and not fighting it. All right, so that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Hopefully it helped. Hopefully you can adopt those tips. If it was useful for you, let me know in the comment which one you like the most, and I'll see you guys soon. Ciao.